Right, everyone, WeaponCollector here. I've got a new knife, another new sort of safety knife, UK legal carry, sort of alternative to a Swiss Army penknife. So this is how you get it, and it's the Sanrenmu 716 SUE-GH-T7. So it's a little penknife, non-lock-in, and it has some screwdrivers and a pouch that go with it. So there's the nice little nylon pouch. And in here is the knife and the screwdriver tools, which I'll show you a bit later. So it's a non-locking knife, but it does have one locking, I'll say blade, but it's not technically a blade really. So the actual main blade has a flipper, but you can't really flip it out. I've been explaining this recently. Why I got these is because that flipper foot acts like a little guard for the non-locking blade. So if it shuts when you're using it, it'll catch your finger first. So there's the blade, a nice looking blade. The blade is 6.6 centimetres, needs to head inches then, 6.6 centimetres, and it's non-locking, which means this would be UK legal carry and legal carry in quite a few other places. Got various other tools, and I'll show you those now. So yeah, that's the blade. The locking blade is the saw. So it's got a nice decent saw. The saw actually tapers back, thinner at the back, and it's fatter at the front, which means it will cut better. I don't know if this will focus on the teeth, but it's got some decent sharp teeth. Yeah, and that locks. As far as I'm aware, there's no rule to say you can't have a locking saw. It's just a locking blade. Now I'm not 100% not sure on that, but I'm pretty, because you're not going to be able to stab anyone with that, That I would recommend you look into it, but I'm pretty confident that that should be alright. A locking saw is alright. It's a locking blade that you're not allowed. So there's the saw then, which locks, like I said. The blade doesn't lock. And then on the back here, you've got a cap lifter and a Phillips screwdriver. That doesn't lock. None of these ones lock. A nail file or file, and then a little screwdriver or maybe a nail cleaner, and then lastly a sharpened hook or a gut hook, whatever you want to call them, belt cutter, and a little Phillips screwdriver. You've also got a glass breaker there with a tiny little tungsten tip, but it does work. And then you've got here, this is where you would use the screwdriver bits in the pouch. So, you don't need to carry these. If you didn't want, you could just carry the knife, but, it's a good little feature. So it's basically this little package here has this little bit here and here. You put these together like that, and then they go in there, and then you put your screwdriver bits in, and there your knife has now got a screwdriver, a proper screwdriver that you could probably get different bits for as well if you wanted to. The bits it's got with it are sort of medium-sized Phillips or crosshead, two different little Torx heads, and a small flathead, which I just showed you. This Torx head, I think, is the one that will fit most of your knives. There must be the slightly bigger one then. But yeah, I sometimes find these hard to find, this size, so it's nice to have one, yeah. Right, that is the one. Yeah, so that comes in that little hard plastic case. Looks like a good case, Not a lot much more you can say about it. And then just take those back out, put them back in, and that's that done. So yeah, overall I think this is very nice. It's got G10 scales, 12C27 steel, came decently sharp. I'll just show you the size of this next to a Swiss Army style knife. This knife is the same size as a Swiss Army penknife. So you can see the size there. Put them level. So yeah, not quite as long, but a nice sort of thicker blade, wider blade. You know, I've got nothing against Swiss Army penknives. I think they're some of the best penknives you can get. But sometimes people want an alternative, you know. So this is essentially one-handed opening, but it's so tight you can't really, and I wouldn't recommend it because you may slip halfway, cut your finger. I'd recommend you usually take this out of two hands. Yeah, looks really well made. You've got some sort of 3 lanyard holes there, but the blade does cut through the hole, if you know what I mean. So you would have to have something right down the very end to prevent that either cutting it or stopping the blade shutting. Nice texturing on the handle. Fit and finish seems really good. No blade play. Like I said, came sharp. It's only got a thumb on one side, but then that's, you know, it needs to, it can only have that because it would be covering the saw otherwise. The lock on the saw, I didn't mention, is a little liner lock just there. You press to the side. But that is a good feature to have a nice locking saw like that. It looks like a very decent saw. Single position clip, small little clip. The knife would be in about that deep. Tip down only by the looks of it. Yeah, I think it's a good sort of quality setup if you want an alternative to a Swiss Army penknife that's got some sort of different features. So all of the dimensions are 6.6cm main blade, 16.1cm open, 2.2cm wide blade, and it is 9.5cm closed, and the blade looks about 2.5mm thick. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 features on the knife, and then you've got the, well, actually 10 if you count the screwdrivers, and then, you know, about 15 once you've got them all, if you count those as well, you know, each part. Yeah, very nice, and it is £14.37p, so not really expensive for something that has, you know, a decent pouch, screwdriver set, a locking saw, you know. I think that's good for that. There's also $18.99, so, but yeah, I think that's well worth getting. The thing I like about it the most though, which I've been mentioning before, is the flipper foot that acts like a guard. Gives a whole new safety feature to these knives. I don't think it's intentional. I think what it is these are originally made as flippers with a liner lock, and they've removed the liner locks and turned them into slip joints, but just kept some of the, you know, features, but it works good. I'll tell you why I suspect that. On some of them you can even, this one you can't, you see it on here but there is a liner lock there. On some of them you can even see the cutout in the scales where it would have been a liner lock. So that's what I suspect. Yeah, Very nice slip joint. UK legal carry, be legal carry in other places as well. Comfortable, not massive though. Does fit in my hand though. I've got all my fingers are touching the handle. You know, bit jimping on the back there. Yeah, I would recommend it, and I like it, and this may be coming to the woods with me soon. So yeah, that's it. That's the Sanrenmu 7116 SUE-GH-T7 multifunction knife. There'll be links below in the more info section if you want this. I'll add a discount code if I can, and all that. And yeah, and if you ever want to support this channel, and you like this kind of stuff, buy through my links, and I'll get a small percentage of what you spend at no cost to you. You know, and you can support the channel without having to do anything apart from buying stuff you like. Right, so I hope you've found this helpful. I hope you saw something you like. Yeah, that's it. See you later.